Murder style, y'all.
Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity? Ooh.
Mother, that is pronounced also Mario in Korean. Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, oh, it's a me, Mario. I'm sorry, I had to do that. I had to do it. It is a Korean thriller. It's not horror, but it is. It has a lot of drama and chemistry to the film. That's been directed by Bong Joon-ho. The movie follows a mother after her disabled son, who is accused of the murder of a young girl, attempts to find the true killer and get her son freed.
내가 죽을 줄을 쳤다.
I hold on. I gotta get a bottle of water because I was not ready to see this film at all, nor was my girlfriend Sabrina. Now, when I brought her over here earlier today, she was asking me about the best, one of the most traumatic horror thriller films I have in my collection. All this, anime, movie, etc. Now, I haven't sat and watched a regular film. I've been busy watching animes and playing games. And I wanted to watch a film that me and her both have not seen. And Mother was one of them. What threw me into the film was the fact that it wasn't the fact that I had not seen this film, but I've also have heard a lot of good reviews of it. A lot of people have given this the highest score possible. And above all, they were saying that this is one of the Korean masterpieces of all time. Of all time. And I am not making this up. But what threw me off out of anything was just a picture of it. I mean, look at her. Her hair is really fucked up. That's what made me want to watch this with Sabrina. And to be fair here, I have seen it with her, and it was good. It was a damn good film. Very unpredictable. Like, had me on the edge of my seat so many times to the point where I kind of regret sitting down watching this film. I should have just stood up the whole entire time because this film knows how to stay in its lane of what is presented to the whole audiences. No cliffhangers, no tropes. Everything is explained, but at the same time, is this movie a masterpiece? Well, we'll get to that in a second. The movie starts off at a dozy pace, and what I mean by that is the movie starts off by us being introduced to the mother character as she's working, and it wanted us to see the eyes of her character as she's busy working, getting things situated around the area, and just looking after her son, which is basically what the whole film is focused on. Just them two, making sure that they're looking out for each other and making sure that the mother is really looking after her son because he is mentally unbalanced. He is mentally unstable. Now, I like films like this that has a disadvantage to the character, even if they're blind or if they're mentally disabled or if they are just in a loop where all odds are stacked against them. And this was basically the mother and the son's character. Now, what I liked about both of them was the fact that they have showed two sides of the coin of both of these characters. How they was living under pressure, how they was going through things in daily life activity, and how they saw each other as a bonding whole. I thought that the pacing for both of them was okay, but I felt like it rushed it so it can get right down to the second part of the film when the murder ended up happening. And it's kind of a letdown because when the pacing of these two characters starts off, I wanted more of them. I wanted more chemistry of both of these characters because they was expressing themselves in ways where I could relate to and certain family members in my tree. And at the same time, it pulled me in to the point where I wanted to see how things were going to end in the long run by us knowing more about these characters, especially when they was revealing things that I was not ready for. And I was like, holy shit, they went through this at a certain age? Damn, that's crazy. I have to give kudos to Kim Hae-ja that played as the mother character. Kim, she did good. She did well to the point where it's practically an Oscar-worthy experience. She has carried the whole film through not just her character, but just how she portrayed herself when it came to her being under pressure, when she was feeling a heartwarming gesture towards her son, and above all, when her son ends up getting into a collision course of him can't even defending himself. She puts us into a very, very, very eye-gluing screen vision of just how she's going to portray her character trying to get her son out of these predicaments. I believed her character to the point where it was beginning to be a dangerous relation to the audience because she was doing things on the film that really questions parents. Would you do this if your son was in the back burner? Would you do this if your son was locked up and he was innocent? Or if he was guilty? As a parent, by you loving your kids that much, would you go through that route? Won Bin as the son, he also did a damn good job. Oscar-worthy performance as well. His character has really pulled me in, practically in ways where it was like two sides of a yin and yang gesture towards the mother and the son character. Because the mother, even though she's a female, she was really pulling her weight to the point where I really felt like, damn, can she really do this on her own? But damn, Won Bin as a mentally disabled son, his odds was even more fucked up because he was getting picked on. He was going through a lot of bad phases. And even when he was locked up in prison, I was really fearing for his life. It really pissed me off when it was picking on that kid. And I was like, God damn, dude. I really wish they leave this damn kid alone. Movies like this kind of triggers me when people do this type of shit. When the murder happens, when the second half of the film takes place, this is when the ultimate chemistry of these two characters collide and we begin to try to believe their actions, the mother and the son character, which was making me hope that the knowledge of me knowing these characters would pay off. Now, to be fair here, we know more about these characters as the movie progresses, but I felt like they were throwing more thrilling tropes on both of these characters. Is the mother doing the right thing? And if she's not doing the right thing, can we relate to her character? Is the son innocent? And if the son is innocent, is he going to be proven innocent? And if the whole thing falls flat, will it be worth the whole risk? Now, again, I've known enough for me to understand their motives, but I didn't know enough for me to care about the motives. Now, to be fair here, I end up caring a little bit, but not to the point where if something bad was to happen to both of these characters, like if the son was locked up and he was never proven innocent, or the mom just failed to find who was responsible, I would feel a little let down. But it's like putting a quarter in a slot machine and you did not get a jackpot. It's like, okay, I lost something, oh well. And that's how I really felt about watching this film. I felt like the gravitation wasn't there enough, and I needed to know more about these characters so I can be more pulled in and the thrill could be more worth it. Not to say that it was all bad on that aspect. I mean, I was pulled in whenever it was necessary. I was pulled in by the immersion. I was pulled in by the suspense because there's a lot of suspense things on this film to the point where I was beginning to bite my nails. And whenever I ran out of nails, I was beginning to bite my girlfriend's nails because there were some times where the mother character was finding out some things that made me feel like, God damn, what the hell? This really happened? Same thing with the son. Now, her son has a mental disability, but it's not to the point where it's always sudden. He'll remember certain things that would trigger him to act a certain way. And I thought that was unique to the point where people may call him certain names like a retard and stuff like that, but there was some parts in the film he was more intelligent than I expected. I'm like, holy shit, Peppers, man. So they did parts on this film that really made me get glued to the screen. But again, with the lack of chemistry, I felt like I could have been glued even more. As we get closer to the end game of the film, as we think that we got everything put together and we thought that everything made sense, this movie decides to throw a freaking 180 twist. Not to the point where it changed the whole film and the whole story, but they actually decide to make this twist so big to the point where it changed the whole narrative to the characters. And it made me rethink my strategy, and it made me re-look at certain things about the film that I've kind of overlooked. I'm like, wait a minute, if this twist is really happening, how am I going to point this character off? How am I going to point that character off? Is this character really a good person? Is this character really a bad person? This twist, when it comes to Korean films, it's the twist that you have to be prepared for, because when it comes to Korean films, I know that they really, really, really hit you with a twist where that not only that you have to reiterate with the whole chemistry of the whole story and the characters, but sometimes these twists have a learning curve. And that's how I felt about watching Mother. I felt like not only that these characters gave me a new look to them, but it made me think and it made me learn a certain lesson when it comes to people playing victim, or sometimes when people are really telling the truth. Overall, this movie was good. This movie was a hellish treat. Even though this movie came out in 2009, which is not saying much, because I feel like we're not really getting masterpieces anymore. Masterpieces is now movies that is based on comic books, television shows, or other masterpieces that people have made. But Mother was a film that I seen that I don't think not any film I've seen can relate to. So it's worth being called a masterpiece, but it's not worth being a legendary hit. I'm gonna have to give Mother an A. Whew. I want to watch this movie again. I want to watch this movie again because it made me look at certain things. And yeah, it's the twist that got me. It's the twist that got me. And Sabrina, when she ended up realizing this twist as much as I did, we was both asking each other questions of just about the route that these two characters has took. Is this character right or is this character wrong? And I told her, well, you know what? I don't even know. But at the same time, it makes you think that even though you can be wrong at a choice, that doesn't mean it wasn't necessary. Sometimes you have to break a bound so things can change, which is a necessary sacrifice in my opinion. God damn. Try to be quick with this review. I might not get a lot of views on this, but I normally do reviews to appeal to myself as good memories. So people that's on my channel watching, I hope you guys check this out and check out Mother. Other than that, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher. And you guys have a good day.